Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the host of the Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. I am also the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. Along with my wife Amanda, we investigate everything paranormal: Bigfoot, UFOs, cryptids, aliens, hauntings, demonic activity. We also help people in their homes free of charge. So, all right, let's get into this. I've got a crap ton of stuff to show you. I think this show is actually going to be kind of more of a show and tell, if you will, because everybody seems to ask me all the time, well, where's your evidence? What evidence have you collected? We've collected so much evidence. Unfortunately, the video clips from the old investigations, when I used the little Sony Handycams, they're no longer viable. They will not open on my computer because they're only 7 megapixel, and my computer for some reason won't open up anything less than 9. So that's what happens when you get a really expensive computer, I guess. So if you know how to do it, please comment down below. If you have a Bigfoot story you want to share and would like to come on the show, please comment down below. Hopefully you like our content. Hopefully you like this podcast. Now, some people have asked me, where's our audio only podcast? So let's look at that real quick. Okay. So if you don't know, okay, we are over here. Let me move this out of the way. We are over here on Speaker from iHeartRadio. This is our main platform. We are on so many platforms, it's not even funny, but you can kind of see some of the ones that we're on. Whatever your podcast, wherever you get your podcast, if we're not on there, let me know. Leave it in the comments down below and let us know if we're missing something. But if you want to listen to our content, again, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, whatever, I'm not going to get into all this. You can come on here to our audio podcast if you want to listen while you're driving down the road in the car, or you want to go, listen while you're going to bed or whatever. That's how I kind of do. I listen to podcasts when I go to sleep. So anyways, yeah, if you want to come on here, I'm not going to talk about this too much. Another place to find our podcast is on our website. All this is going to be linked down below. Our YouTube, our podcasts are all on our Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. The Deep Woods Paranormal podcast and our YouTube shows and everything are on our website. So if you want to come there, if you'd like to come over here to Manscaped and you're interested in getting some products, when you get to the discount code, put in DWP. Essentially, it gets you a discount so that you can save a little bit of money. All right, so we're not going to stay on this very long. Okay, so what you're looking at, these are Joe's puppies. This is when I camped on his property, and I wanted to kind of scroll through this video. So if you're listening, I will do my best to describe the videos. If you want to come back later and to watch some of these videos, all of them will be linked down below at the very bottom for you. Again, this is Joe's puppies. This is when I spent a weekend on his property. I think it was a Saturday and Sunday night. And basically out here is the forest. You can see the national forest behind me. Joe's camp is on the other side of my tent. I did have activity that night. Besides freezing my cojones off, I basically had the side of my tent where I'm sitting, the other side of the tent where you can't see the other wall, get pushed in a couple times. I think something even touched me, which scared the living bejesus out of me. And I know it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I know Joe wasn't up at that point in time, so he doesn't come out when it's dark out there. All right, so okay, let's go through this. Okay, yeah. So this is from, let me play this. Let me set this up for you. This is not Joe's property, what we're about to show. No, it is. It is Joe's property. We found a dead deer carcass. Christy and I, when we were investigating, this is not from this actual investigation, I don't think. Or it might be. We find dead deer carcasses on Joe's camp all the time. Most of the time, they're missing their legs. Mainly, it's just an upper torso. No legs attached, which is really strange. So let's watch this real quick. I'll turn the volume up so hopefully you can hear pretty well. I'll move the mic back towards the audio, the microphone. So hopefully you guys can hear this. So this is not Joe's camp. This is actually another place. This is actually a catfish head we found real close to his property, by a lake down by his property. You can see the teeth marks into the bone. This catfish head was massive. It was 7-8 inches wide, and the gill, the head part on the side was probably about 8 inches long, maybe. And these teeth marks were like half an inch wide each. I mean, they're much bigger than us, than our teeth. There's no canines in these. We couldn't find any canines. It looks like it's the front teeth right here, right before my canines on the sides here. It looks like it's the front teeth scraped into the side of the head of the catfish. Again, we would have picked this up, but it reeked. And so we essentially decided not to grab that. So that's a possible piece of evidence. I wish we could have gotten some DNA. This is the dead deer carcass we found at Joe's. It had just been raining. We were stuck inside. As you can see, it's pretty picked clean. There's no legs, just an upper torso attached. So again, if you want to watch this video, it'll be linked down below. This is that footprint. This thing was massive. You can kind of see where the toes are. You can see a toe, a toe, a toe, a toe, and another little toe over here. And then you see this giant, huge foot. This is possibly the heel here. Look at Joe's hand. Joe's got big hands. I've got big hands too, but Joe's hands are almost as big as mine. And I mean, you could put like 1.5 of his hands in there. So imagine, this. That's how big the heel was. Probably at least 6-8 inches wide at the heel. Then you get this mid-torsal break here. You can kind of make out where the balls of the feet were. Looks like whatever, it stepped on some pine needles, and fortunately for us, it essentially, when it stepped on them, it stuck to the bottom of its foot probably. It probably had just rained or whatever, and it left this impression in the dirt below, which is awesome. We tried to cast this. It did not come out. It came out really, really crappy. It just looked like a blob. So we ended up just moving on. So bear with the music. I left, this is my offering to them. Essentially, I left this out there for them to enjoy. When I camped there, there was about 3 or 4 different tree stumps. This was where those beautiful pine trees were that the Bigfoots used to come down in behind. And you could see the eye shine peeking out from behind the trees, only on the IR lights, though. You couldn't see them with your own eyes. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is. I think there's a silhouette back here. Again, at night, hard to tell what it's looking at. This is a trap cam. I'll show you guys some trap cam videos. I'm sorry, some trap cam pictures and video at the end. Here, let me just keep going. Oh, okay. I'll show you this in slow motion. You can see, let me go back just a hair. Okay. If you're looking right here, and I'll show you this actual picture from the trap cam, right here, there's something blocking out the IR light on this side. On the left, lower left corner, it looks like an upper torso with a head. And then if you watch in the next clip, okay, it's moved. That shadow is moved to the left. Now all you see is like an upper shoulder. You don't see like the upper torso like you're seeing me. Anyways, we'll go through that in more detail in a few minutes. I wanted to show you. Okay, I don't want to watch that yet. Grab it officially. So I essentially walked out. This is what Joe's camp looks like. He does live in the national forest, and you can start to see some tree loops. These trees just bent over. And just at one point, we found. I stopped counting after about 100. It was just too many to see. But you see, okay, so this is me putting out apples for them. I wanted to show this video because I wanted you guys to see what Joe's camp really looks like. But look at This is a place where this branch has been laid in here, and another branch, laying across sideways. Um, these have been snapped off. And so I put offerings everywhere I could find that they basically had um, created structures, or what I call structures. Now, playing devil's advocate, it could have been a person, yes, could have been just the wind picked up a stick and threw it, however far, snapped the branch off and then threw it into the other trees, branches, and tree trunks. I seriously doubt that, but yes, look at all these little trees, branches that have been put in a asterisk form over here. So I'm going to keep going because I want to see. I don't want to take all the time. I want to show you guys the actual footage of things. Okay, so here is all these tree bends. It's just the start. They're just all bent over into dome shaped, one after another, after another, after another, after another, as far as you can see. And this goes off into the other woods across the road. Haven't been able to explore over there too much, but this is the area that's not so thick. Joe's camp, it gets real thick back in the back area, but you can see all the tree bends. What is doing this? Again, you guys got to take this with a grain of salt. I don't expect anyone to believe in Bigfoot or anything else paranormal until they've had an experience where they can say that couldn't be anything else but. And in this case, we're going to put the word Bigfoot in here. So I don't know. I've never actually seen them bend them over. I've talked to a witness that said he saw it happen. If you look back here, here's another tree trunk snapped off at the base, laid across through another tree. Now, I walked over there. I'm not going to go through this whole video. You guys can watch these if you want. And there's no base here. There's no roots. There's no nothing. It wasn't snapped off in this area. It was carried over here and put in through the tree trunk, the two tree trunks. So again, there's just so much evidence on Joe's camp. Again, here is all of the different tree bends. As far as you can see. And what they've done with some of them is they've created blinds and essentially take the loops and they've laid sticks up against them and they've woven other tree branches through and vines and whatever else so that it basically creates like a hunting blind. And what's interesting about that is if you look at Joe's camp, this is on the edge of Joe's camp. If you're looking towards me from this angle, you could see his camper and his setup down below. So essentially, I think they're creating some of these tree bends to basically prevent people from walking through. These were paths. This is Joe's path where he used to walk through. He doesn't walk through these areas too much anymore, just because they've done this. So let's keep going. Let me look. I could talk about tree bends all day. You can come back and watch this video. Anyways, I want to keep going. Yeah. Again, more tree blinds. Now, this is the road that goes through to the back of his property. They've knocked over, very large trees, 6-8 inches in diameter or bigger across his road. He keeps having to go out there and chainsaw them and cut the tree trunks into firewood pretty much for him. And so, yeah, he's kind of annoyed with it. So here, again, another tree trunk snapped off at the base with no place where it came from. So, just crazy crap. Again, you guys can come through and watch this video. Here's more of the tree bends. Here's the structure. Here's that tree snapped off, laid across the other trees. So I'm just skimming through this video, guys. All right, so I basically, where that tree, you can see back here, here's another tree. Here's another pretty much structure. You got a bunch of trees laid over on their side, and another tree trunk, basically a tree trunk, basically stuck through two other tree trunks that are actually still up and alive. and then you get all these other branches basically laid against it. And then I'm putting on one of them, I set down an apple just to see if they would take it. It was an offering. This is on the other side of where I'm standing, is where that one blind is. I'll see if I can find it on the video. But you can just see what they did. There's the end of that one tree that goes through the other ones. These were all live trees. You can see that this has live branches on it. It's been snapped off, pushed over, snapped off, and then put up through. I don't know. I would love to catch them doing this one of these days. So yeah.
Cashback is good, but double cash.
So bear with me for just a second. We're going to skip through this ad. Okay, so this is what Joe's camp looks like from where I was camped. You can see the forest here. And I was painting around because I kept seeing things. Okay, so here's my other offering. Joe says they like to pick up corn that for the deer. So I left corn on another stump. There was 3 stumps kind of in a triangle pattern. And I left this over here out in the clearing to see if maybe they'd come down at night and pick it up. Again, you guys can watch this. This is Joe's camp. You can see he has multiple structures out here. He kind of created a hunting blind. This is my tent and my setup for the night. And then I had a fire going out here later in the evening. But I had trail cams. So that's the tent. Let me see if I can see the trail cams. So there you see one of the trail cams. I didn't put them up very high. What Joe tells me is you have to put them up 15, 20 feet in the air and angle them down, and they don't see them supposedly. So I had these trail cams facing every different direction out away from me, all the way around in almost a circle on multiple different trees. I think I had about 10 cameras out just to see if I caught anything. And I think I did, but it's really hard to see. Again, there's my little car. So this is what it looks like looking out onto his property. Anything could be standing out here. I could be standing out there with a bright yellow outfit on, and you wouldn't be able to probably see me. You might see parts of me, but you wouldn't see much of me. And everybody goes, well, why? I walk out in the woods all the time, and I never see anything. Well, I mean, can you see anything in this? I can't. I don't know if there's a Bigfoot here or not. This is kind of interesting. This big brown blob over here. So is this. This looks like a head and shoulders, but again, unless I can crop all the way in, I don't know. And even if I cut out that little section, it's going to just become a blob squatch if it's anything at all. Anyways, again, it's real easy to just zoom in and think that anything's anything. Here's a tree structure on the other side of where I was camping. You can see the tree trunks or the branches basically snagged in a teepee form. Here's a bend. Here's the tree bend here. Here's the tree that's been snapped off. Oh, that's got to be 15, 20 feet up in the air. I don't know if I can't say the wind didn't do it. So I didn't actually see it happen. But and then we get to nighttime. So this is that road I was talking about. And as you walk up the road toward the back of his property, this is what it looked like. It was, and you can see all the tree bends off to the left. They're pretty much walking right through the left side of his property and the right side of his property as well. I was sitting here. You can barely see my tent off to the right in the bottom right corner here. You can kind of see his different structures that he has on the property. And so, yeah, I mean, here's more of those tree bends. Here's another tree trunk snapped off, however many feet high in the air. You just see all these tree bends. What is doing this? Again, I just put the word Bigfoot in there because I don't know what else it could be. So let's keep going. I don't want to spend too much time on this video. So again, here's the tree bends from further away. You can come back and watch this video. I'm just looking to see. Here's more tree bends. You see, this tree is still alive. This tree is still alive. This tree is still alive. This is why I want to talk to somebody that specializes in trees. And this could be something looking out right here on the left side. I don't know how high up that is. I'd have to go out there and kind of take a visual. At this point in time, it's probably changed because we're getting into spring. The foliage is now going to probably be much thicker than it was when I went up there. It was cooler out at this point in time. Okay, let's just keep going through this real quick. More of the tree bins. Yeah, you guys are probably getting tired of the bins. Again, more of the same tree bins. I was just watching the forest because I kept hearing things. I kept hearing things over there. This is me cooking food. Yes, and no, I'm not the best cook out there. What is this? Let's watch this for just a second here. That's awesome. Okay, let me put this away from me. This is David. This is Joe's friend, also a fellow Bigfooter. This was taken with a full spectrum camera. I was told to take the full spectrum camera out to the woods because I would see things that I essentially. Let me move the mic back until I'm ready to play this. I would essentially see things that I couldn't see with my own eyes, and I've been told that there's things out there that rival Bigfoots and stuff like that. There's things like they're cloaked, if you will, that only the infrared can't pick up, but the full spectrum camera somehow can pick them up. Now, again, take all that with a grain of salt. I don't know. This gentleman here, you can't see his face. He was a NASA scientist, and he's just a really, really smart guy. And he had his own experience with Bigfoot, and that's what basically led him to start doing this. What he's got here is a plate of food, and he's got. I think I've talked about this multiple times. I'll talk about it real quick, and then I'm going to get on to the next thing. So he's got Oreos, Chips Ahoy cookies. He's got a peanut butter sandwich cut in fours, apples, grapes, and then the bottom of the plate has peanut butter smeared from one side to the other. And he's left this out there for them multiple times, and they seem to like it. Unfortunately, he's got gun happy friends, gun happy neighbors that like to shoot at the Bigfoots, and so they don't really come down to where they used to anymore. But he still, from time to time, leaves offerings out there. Let's see if this gets any clearer. You kind of sit there. He walked off into the forest. Unfortunately, the ultraviolet light was just too bright. You can see him walking off into the forest there. He lives in the national forest too. It's literally right across the street from him. So I used the wrong camera. This is me. With this, I should have just used the GoPro and turned the regular flashlight back on. All right, so let's move on to the next video here. Okay. Again, Joe's camp. Here's another structure. That I found. This is in a different place. This is not back where the tree bins are. This is actually further to the right on this property. You can see a live tree has been bent over. You've got another tree standing up, another tree that's been snapped off with no base. I couldn't find the roots or the base anywhere. Laying across this way, you've got it's just basically a teepee. So let's watch this for a second. Another bent. So this was taken with the old Sony Handycam. So I apologize for the quality. These cameras are 20 years old, but they're some of the best. They were some of the best infrared cameras out there. More thunder, more bent over. Another tree bent over here. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Like more structures as we go farther in up here. But they're bent over everywhere. Like this tree is still growing. It's bent over and kind of woven. And there's another tree that goes over here, right here. And yeah, all the bent trees. That's crazy. And there's like a structure there. So as I was walking around over there was every path was like blocked. Like there's a log laying this way, there's a log laying that way. Tree branches were pulled across, trees were pulled over and woven through other trees to block the walking path. Uh, and it was funny because this kept happening as I was walking. I turned around, and where I just crossed through and no noise, it's blocked by something. It's the craziest thing. So let's keep watching. Poison ivy, you're stuck in one of these damn holes. There are a lot of holes. These trees have been just snapped off at the base. Clear the center. Okay, let me fast forward this because I don't want to. So, if you're looking at the screen right now, what you're seeing, here's the walking path. Here's what I was talking about. This tree was not there when I first walked through there. I had just walked through this area. You heard me, you saw me. Look at what happened. Tree, two tree branches laid over, another one laid back up over the other way, and like a little. The whole reason I was walking over there was this little tree structure, this little teepee. It's like a small one. It's only a couple 3 feet high, but there's a tree trunk that snapped off, maybe 3, maybe 4 feet high, and there's all these little twigs, not twigs, but small branches, like less than an inch diameter, maybe half-inch in diameter, laid up against it in all different directions. Craziest thing. So let's keep going. Oh yeah, look at that. So I found a footprint, and I know I had made it. This was huge. I put my foot next to this. I don't remember how big this is. So let's listen to this. Opens up, and you can see where the toes dug in right about here. 1, 2, 3. And that little toe right there really dug in. Right down in there. Really dug in. It's like something stepped down and then put his toes in and pushed off. That could possibly have. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to get that to be a little clearer. So this is not a great picture, but anyways, you can see what happened was it had rained. And the reason I go out to Joe's camp when I know it's going to rain, either the day before and hang out with him and chill and wait, or I go out the day after it's rained, and then try and make it up his crazy driveway, which is slick as slime. Anyways, so I basically found this footprint, and it's like this was just all dead foliage, like branches and leaves and everything. I think this was in spring, or I'm sorry, in fall or something like that. All the leaves had just started falling. His area has a lot of this deadfall everywhere. It's really hard to find prints most of the time. But when you do, you can see them, but they're just not. You can't cast that. I mean, you have to move all the dead stuff off, and then there wouldn't be much of anything left to basically print. But anyways, what it looks like is it looks like something stepped in with the toes, slid a little bit forward, and as it slid forward, you can see right here this mid dorsal break. It's not a big Bigfoot. It's probably this footprint. I don't know how big it is, but for guessing from the middle of the foot here, where it basically bent. The theory is, our feet bend down, right? It basically, when we walk, our feet kind of scrunch down a little bit. Our toes come together, and we push off with our toes, right? So that's kind of what happened here. This thing stepped heel, and then hit the middle of it, and then basically scrunched the middle of its foot up, and then the toes dug in, and then it pushed off, and it left this print. So that's pretty cool. I wish we could have gotten a better thing of it. This is me talking about stuff. Let me see if there's anything interesting on here besides me walking through the woods. And that's Joe. Again, not a very good quality. Let's see what this is. Sorry about all the ads. This is before I realized you could turn them off. So here's another footprint. This is from about 2 years ago. Look at that. So Joe's feet are they're about the same size as mine. They're not as wide. He wears about a 13. Okay, so the heel, we think the heel hit like back here somewhere. This is the mid dorsal break, pretty much we think right here. And then you can see the toes just dug back into that ground. and it left a toe prints. I probably should have tried to cast that, but I just figured that it would just screw it up. It wouldn't look like anything. It'd just be like this, blob. So, anyways, let's keep going. We did some tree knocks. We did hear some tree knocks back. Here's another tree bend where the tree's just been bent over and it's still alive. This happened the night that we were sitting there, staying the night. This is not my Amanda. This is a friend of mine. Her name's Amanda as well. She wanted to come up and check out Joe's camp. So, anyways, yeah, is this the one that we found the footprint? Oh yeah. Okay. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can see toe prints. Big toe, second toe, third toe, and then it goes off. And that footprint comes all the way back to here. I mean, that's a big boy. I think we measured that at 22 inches. Holy. Let's listen to this. That's a huge footprint. Holy crap. Okay, so let me show you how big this footprint is. I think they made a mistake. Here's another one here. I have size 12. That's a huge footprint right there. So sorry about the shadow. I'm going to let this play for just a second. Let me see if I get out of my own way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, you can see it. You can see the heel here. Toe, 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 and toe. I mean, this thing, I wear size 13 wide. I said 12 on the video, but at 13 wide. My foot, I could have put maybe 2 of my feet in next to each other where the heel was. And then maybe at least 2.5 of my feet, no, about 1.5 of my feet would have completed this. But that was massive. And you can see, again, more logs laid out into, the road here. So, yeah, that was a massive footprint. We couldn't cast that either. It was just too shallow. It would have been a big old mess. So, anyways, I talk about it. And then we do a full-on night investigation. Okay. So I think, let's see. I think there's a standalone video for this. Okay, let me move this past this. Okay, so this is basically some tree structures. Let's watch this and we'll move on to the next thing. Sorry about the music. I've not used this music in a long time. You can just see all the crazy things snapped off. That's Amanda. Let me go back to that. Let me mute this music. Okay, so this tree is fresh. It's been freshly snapped. We're estimating this to be 15 to 18 feet in the air. So whatever grabbed that, I'm 6'2". You need at least 2.5 of me or more to reach this branch. So, I know it didn't snap. We heard things being snapped when we were sleeping. It woke us up. Snap. And we're like, holy crap. Hopefully they're not going to hit the side of the trailer or knock the trailer off of its foundation. But anyways, okay. So a lot of tree structures on Joe's camp. Let's move on. Okay, here's another one. Let me make this bigger. So this is actually, we were down in the Sam Houston National Forest. And as we went to check something out, and we talked to the rangers and everything, and they kind of rolled their eyes at the idea of Bigfoots and stuff like that. And so as we were driving down, I started seeing trees like bent over off to the right side. This is real close to where the campers are. But I actually think I saw a deer in here too. But you can see all the trees that are bent over. This one is really strange. This has been snapped off, and then basically it's at an angle down towards the ground, almost parallel. But it's been snapped off and then snapped off again and then laid up against this tree, which is really strange. So this is what got me onto here. And again, this will be linked in here. This is just a short video. It's only about 9 minutes long. I went over there to look for footprints and whatever else. So, okay. Yeah, this is this is, I know this is terrible. I look terrible. This is when I woke up feeling like a lollipop. I mean, ice cube. Essentially, I was freezing that night. I had all this on. I had a jacket. I had a hat, jeans. I think I had a sweatshirt on underneath this. It got down to like 18 degrees up there that night. So, anyways, let me just play this through. Actually, no, I'm going to talk about my experience here. All right, it's morning. It was an interesting night last night. After we got back from investigating with David, Joe's friend, which was really interesting. I learned a lot from the gentleman. Um, thankful that he took the time to go out with us last night. I got back. We were exhausted. We went straight to bed. It was like almost 1 when we got back, and so it was cold. It was 34 degrees. Sorry about the dog barking. That's actually on the video. That was Joe's puppies hearing me wake up, and they were all excited about me getting up and hanging out with them. I think that's the puppies saying hello. All right, baby, slip right out. So essentially, I got up around 3:30 to go outside. Okay, I'll right out. And essentially, when I got up, as I unzipped the tent here, something like, it wasn't a whoop. I've never heard it before. It was a like something was warning the other Bigfoots that I was opening the tent. And then about an hour and a half later, I heard something walking around, grunting and stuff like that. So that was interesting. All right, so that's my account from. Let me pull this back over here. That was my account from basically staying on his, camping on his property. My plan is where you saw all the tree bins. I'm either going to put I've already talked to a couple other people about this that want to go with me. My plan is to go over there and again and maybe put a hammock up in the trees around his property and right where all those tree bins are, and to see what'll happen when they come through in the middle of the night and see me there. What are they going to do? Are they going to, interact with me? Are they going to do something? Are they just going to ignore me and whatever? Which I hope they don't. I would hope they come in. Maybe I'm going to hang some apples. I'm going to leave a bunch of offerings out. Maybe put some trail cams up if I can get them up there, up about 15, 20 feet, which is really hard to do. So anyways, yeah, just wanted to have you share that experience with you guys again. All these videos will be linked at the bottom of this video or on the bottom of the audio, whatever platform you're on, in the description. All these videos will be here. So this is again Joe's camp. Here's another tree and another tree and another tree and another tree, all bent over. I mean, these are all over. Another tree snapped off at basically about 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground. The trunk is probably at least 6, 7, 8 inches wide. They just snapped this tree right off. So, anyways, let's look through here. We already talked about that footprint. Again, this is the front of his property. These trees have just been bent over everywhere. So, just crazy. Again, the deer carcass. Oh, well, I'll go through that in a minute. You know what? Don't mind this video. I'm going to close this. All right, let's do some show and tell here. All right. So everybody says, oh, well, nobody ever gets Bigfoots on trail cams. I beg to differ. We've gotten quite a few Bigfoots in different areas on camera. What you have to do is you have to figure out where Bigfoots a lot of the times will follow the same path. They like to go up and down. They're just like any other animal or us. They like the easiest path possible, probably, in my opinion. And again, this is just my theory. So if you have a different theory, that's awesome. Feel free to comment down below. Tell me what your theory is, because I always love hearing about different people's theories. In fact, I'm looking forward to start investigating with other Bigfoot researchers here in Texas, and possibly expanding out to different states and stuff here in the future. So, all right. So, I wish I could make this bigger. Does this blow up? Nope. Okay, so bear with me. This is on a 5 megapixel trail cam. It's an old trail cam. It took about a minute to reset. I mean, now they take like a second or less than a second to reset, and they continually take pictures. I set this on picture and video. But what you see here on the right side, standing or kind of squatted down, I believe I think it's squatted down. I think it's kneeling down. Is a possible Bigfoot on the right side next to this tree. Now you're going, okay, you're seeing half of the Bigfoot, right? You're seeing about half of it. This tree was literally so big, I couldn't get my arms around it. What happened to the. Uh-oh. Okay, just want to make sure this is still recording. So I could not wrap the trail cam cord all the way around this tree. It probably had about maybe a 2.5, 3 foot radius. So this is 3 feet wide, essentially. And then you have this thing that's almost double its width. So let's just say it's 2 feet wide. So whatever this is standing out here is, at least because you can kind of see the possible other arm here. And again, take this with a grain of salt. I don't expect anybody to believe until they have their own experience. But I figured out where the Bigfoots were traveling through. I had multiple experiences with them along this route. This is a dry riverbed, and I believe that they are using this as a highway, essentially, to cruise down here. There's a lake down this way. The deer are probably up in this area and stuff like that. This is a wildlife refuge in the Santa Ana Mountains in California. And I do have some evidence I will share with you in a minute from this location as well. But this thing's just standing here, and you're going, okay, well, how do you know that's a Bigfoot? Well, watch. It's gone. Gone. I think it's ducked back in behind this tree a little bit. I think it's standing sideways now. And somebody told me when I could blow this up, they thought they saw another Bigfoot over in this area. But yeah, it's still there. You can kind of still see it. You see the side of the head, and then you kind of see what looks like maybe a shoulder and an arm. So this was taken. I think it took about 60 photos 2 days in a row. Most of it was just absolutely nothing. As the shadow moved, it would take a picture and stuff like that. Again, not a very good trail cam, so I apologize for the crappy quality. But the fact that I can't zoom in on it. Let's see. You know what? It won't let me make it any bigger. Yeah, it will. Okay, so now it's starting to get pixelated. All right, so I apologize again. This is why I don't blow things up, but you can kind of see whatever that is. You can see the arm, the shoulder, and possibly like the head peeking around, looking at the trail cam. And I believe this might be a hand up here, like reached up like this. So hard to see on the camera, like this, basically holding on and peeking around the corner like this. And you're just seeing part of it. Let me go back to that last picture. Now we can kind of hopefully zoom in a little. Again, this is why I don't crop in, because it gets blurry. And now we've kind of you've taken what looks like a Bigfoot and you've made it into kind of a blob squatch, because this is a blurry picture. I'm sorry, it's not blurry. It's I forget the name of it. Pixelated. Because the camera was only a 5 megapixel camera. It's not meant to be zoomed all the way in like this. But you can see it's standing here. And then in the next, the picture, this is taken at 11:44 a.m. on March 14th. Again, the same day. This was at 11:18. So this is the first picture I got. And I'm like, what is that? And then, of course, I got the next picture where it bounces out and stuff like that. So, again, if I can get this to pause. So, different area. This is Joe's camp. This is there's some kind of a green hue to the camera. I don't know what the problem with the camera was, but it decided to. I don't know if I can zoom in on this or not. I don't think I can. All right, so it decided to pretty much give it a green tint, but if you look right here, there's something leaning out. This is a Bigfoot leaning out, looking. Actually, there's a deer down here, just off camera, down towards us. And of course, you see all the tree bends and all that stuff. But it's essentially standing there looking out. It's basically leaning out. I think it has one hand on the ground and one hand up on a tree. You can't really see the hand, but watch. It's really quick. Watch it duck back. So watch right here. Don't worry, I've got another video of it. Did you see that? It creeped back and then ran up this way, or what we thought ran up this way. It actually didn't. There's a blind here. It's created a blind, and hopefully I have some more videos of this. All right, so let's go to the next one. Again, older camera. So what you're looking at is a trail cam that I had facing Joe's corn feeder, because they said that he would see them, physically see them come out of the forest, and they would pick up the little corn pieces off the kernels off the floor and essentially eat them. So I have much better trap cameras by the way now. These are old. So you kind of see something off to the right here, casting a shadow. And it's kind of blurry, but I believe there could be a possible Bigfoot here. So you go to the next one. And again, there's something standing to the right of the camera. All right, so this is the video we were looking at earlier. This is a better picture. Let me explain why. So I know this is getting kind of pixelated, but it's night. Right here, there's a deer. There's a deer right here. I think there's actually several of them, but there's a deer right here eating. Look at the shadow. This looks like a silhouette of a head, somebody's head. So something was standing in front of my trail cam, set the trail cam off while it was watching the deer. Now watch what happens on the next one. The deer went probably this way, probably got spooked, but where's that shadow? I mean, it was here. Now you're seeing, it moved this way. So it obviously was following the deer or chasing the deer or whatever, and disappeared. So again, the same picture. Okay. So let me see if I can pause this. Okay. So this is a better representation of that thing I was talking about. I can't move. I can't really zoom in on this, unfortunately, but you see the head clearly. It almost looks like a clown, but it's the head. It's bald. The top of the head is like mine. It's bald to about mid head, and then it's got this long hair draping off the sides. We think this one's an older one. We believe it's about 14 feet tall. Joe's seen this out in the clearing. I've seen this one out in the clearing. Unfortunately, every time we've seen it, we haven't had an opportunity to get it on camera, except for this one. It's very stealthy. It's a blonde Bigfoot. The hair is blonde, and it's got like green stuff in its fur. We think there's some kind of maybe some kind of moss or something growing in its fur to give it that greenish look. But you can kind of see the head clearly. It's got that domed head. When you can actually see it on it, there's another trail cam picture where I had to zoom all the way in. I don't know what happened to it, but it looks like Crested Clown. It's got hair like sticking out this way, and then it's got hair growing back this way, and it's bald. It's like a complete cone of a head. So anyways, you kind of see the fur down by here, and then it's actually reaching down, and it has its arm on the ground or on another tree back here. So this happens in about a split second. This camera took 15 seconds worth of video, and this is a trail cam. We didn't even know this was happening until we watched the back later. In fact, Joe actually was the one who found this, because we had, I don't know, 30,000 video clips that we had to go through, and it was just it took us about a month to get through them all. But anyways, watch this. Okay, did you see that? So now it's back here. It basically moves back this way, and then on the rest of the video, you'll see it It's still here. It's still right back here. You see it moving right through these trees. You can see it bouncing around. At one point, you kind of see the butt stick back over here, I believe. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Again, here's a better representation of it. You can see the head, you can see the eyes. I can't really make out the mouth. It looks like it's got hair like drooped down this way, hair down this way. Again, looks more like a predator than anything else. Again, at this point, it's getting pixelated because I had to crop in on it, but it's essentially leaning, its arm is leaning down this way somewhere, and then the upper torso is here. Again, I had to crop all the way in on this. So this is what the photo looks like normally. And then you can see here's the picture of it. That's a little bit better without cropping all the way in on it. So you can see it's just standing there, and it's just basically hanging out watching. And as that deer kind of maybe moves up, or maybe it realized the camera was there, it pulls back over here. There's a blind over here. There's more videos of it. I don't know if I have them in this file. Well, I guess that's it. All right, so that's it for that. Okay. So let's start with Black Star Canyon, which is where I showed you that first trap cam photo. I've talked about this multiple times, but the problem is that when you have the green screen on, it's really hard to see. So let me put this up close to the camera. You can see it's a hair sample. Now, I can't say this is from a Bigfoot, but I did find it by an 18-inch footprint up there one day. I could not print the print because I was not really allowed to be doing any Bigfoot research up there. I was actually helping out with a field trip for some people. So I didn't. I just basically got very carefully grabbed a bag out of my back. I always carry these little bags with me, even if I'm not Bigfoot researching. I always carry bags like this so I can reach down and carefully grab that sample. And I use like gloves or something to pick it up so I'm not touching anything. So that was found there. Now, I've shown this many times too. Make sure I see where the toes are. Okay. Toe, and then some weird. Okay. So this is what's left of. Oh, that's pretty good. Uh, um, Basically of a footprint that I found in out of Black Star Canyon. Now, let me see if I can show you this. That's the size of a toe right there. I'll put that next to it. That's you see that round thing right here, all the way. Oops, all the way around. It's hard. This is the camera's backwards, so yeah. Look at that. It's bigger than this $50. And then there's another toe print here. Again, bigger than $50. Just crazy. So, Sam Houston National Forest. This is the hair samples we cut out of a tree about 18 feet up. So I'll move this in closer so hopefully you can kind of see the different hair samples. See all that stringy stuff at the bottom? Right down here. This is long, really long. There's really long hairs here that go all the way through and wind back and stuff like that. We took this out from about 18 feet up in the air, David and I will be working with David in the future here. I got to go back to his location. We're going to do a night investigation and maybe again camp. I don't know if he's going to do it, but I'm going to possibly camp down there if I'm legally allowed to. So here, again, here's a branch from there. You can see the hair. This fell out while I was trying to dump it out from that other bag. So you can see, let me see if I can get this to zoom. It won't focus on it. Anyways, there's some hair samples. It's more focused on me. So there's some hair samples on here. This is actually better. There's a little piece here and a little piece here. I'm going to be pulling. I'm going to be wearing gloves. I'll be wearing a mask, so I'm not breathing on this stuff. Essentially, I just took the bag away from me and dumped it into that Ziploc bag. I'll probably be doing a box unbagging video, I guess you'd call it. You can kind of see, let's see if I move it over here, you can see that hair right here. This is now not viable anymore. This will probably just go up on my wall back in a little bag. But essentially, yeah, there's some hair samples collected from his place. Um, this tooth, which I've shown multiple times before. Um, this tooth was also found near the Sam Houston National Forest. Again, I don't know if that's a cow's tooth or if it's something else. I really need to consult a primate expert and have them take a look at it and tell me, it's just a nice find, leave it on your wall, or hey, that might be something that looks like a primate's tooth. I'm not a tooth expert, so I don't know. I need to have somebody who really knows what they're doing look at this. If you're in the Bryan, College Station area, Houston area, whatever, somewhere in Texas, where I can come meet with you and show you the tooth and have you go, yep, okay, that's this or that's that, or I'm hoping they go, whoa, I don't know what that's from. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, Joe's camp again. Oh, you know what? This was also found in the Sam Houston National Forest. I've shown this a few times before. This is also a hair sample, different area of the Sam Houston National Forest. You can see, I don't know if you can see, I don't want this thing. You can see there's some skin right in the middle there, right above my glasses. And at the end, there's some skin samples on here. So this has been sitting out in the rain for a long period of time, unfortunately, in the weather. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get any viable DNA off of it. Okay, again, from Joe's camp, they throw rocks at his trailer all the time. And this time we were able to get a hair sample. I don't know if you can see it right there. There's the, oops, come this way. Oh boy, this is fun because everywhere I think I'm going, it's the opposite. You can see the hair sample right there on this rock. So whatever picked this rock up and threw it at his trailer left a possible finger hair right here. This has also been needs to be pulled off. It's really long. It's much longer than you can see. It actually goes from somewhere around the bottom of this rock here and then comes up like this all the way over to here. So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of evidence of possible Bigfoot. I can't say for sure. I can't say 100% this is from a Bigfoot. And I know that's what everyone wants. They want to be able to have us say, well, this is conclusive. We know this 100% came from Bigfoot. Couldn't be anything else. And again, I can't tell you that. A lot of this stuff was caught, after the fact of whatever was there that left these hair samples, this tooth, these footprints. We're going to try and do more footprints here. I think we're starting to get into our more of our rainy season right now. So I'm trying to get out every weekend after it rains, and I'm going to be meeting, like I said, I'm meeting with quite a few Bigfoot researchers for the show. I think that's the way I'm going to take this show. If you're a Bigfoot researcher here in Texas, and you have a place that you have a lot of documentation of Bigfoot activity, or it's common for you to experience Bigfoot stuff in these areas, you're finding hair samples, you're finding footprints, you're hearing howls, you're hearing tree knocks, please contact me. More than likely, I'm going to contact you. But I will be going out to different locations, meeting with different Bigfoot researchers, and possibly spending the night in those locations where they're having their experiences. And hopefully, they'll stay with me. I think Amanda's going to try and come out with me too. So that'll be fun. But if you guys have any questions or you've had a you've had a Bigfoot experience, please comment down below. Don't, there is no judgment. I don't allow people to, bash people on my comments. If you want to call me, text me, email me. Oh, let me show you this too. Let me share this real quick. Let me go back to here. I know I've already shown you this video. Where is the normal? All right, this is our normal channel. So from here on out, oh, you know what? I'm doing this completely wrong. Let me try this again. Hold on a second. Let me go into Facebook. Let me go into the Deep Woods Paranormal. Whoops, did that go the right place? Yeah. Okay. So this is, yeah. All right. So this is the Deep Woods Paranormal group on Facebook. We're constantly growing. We're constantly getting new members. I'm constantly putting content in here. If you're another Bigfoot searcher, or you're into the paranormal and you want to leave a comment below, please do. Please feel free to come over here to the Deep Woods Paranormal Facebook group. It's a great place for you guys to come and you can share stories. You can talk to us. You can communicate with us almost directly. You can leave evidence on here. Doesn't have to be a Bigfoot. And so, like I said, most of our podcasts get put here. Any of our videos that we shoot are here. And then people sometimes from time to time will post different things. Here's a welcome to the group, to a couple new people that we just got. My friend Josh. He's also a Bigfoot researcher. I'm going to be working with him. But he sent me this book on wild edibles. And the whole idea is to basically figure out what they're eating. And then once I can figure out what they're eating, I can figure out where that stuff grows and possibly go into those areas and see if I can find more evidence and maybe have an experience too. Who knows? But anyways, a lot of people kind of, here we go, foraging. The best book on wild edibles is Meriwether does classes in our area. So yeah, this is something we need to end this video. This is something that he sent me. I've actually ordered this book. It's going to be cool to have. And it just talks about mushrooms and different wild edibles. David was also showing me some different wild edibles that the deer eat. So yeah, I mean, just a cool place to come and hang out and share your information. Here's somebody posting paranormal gear for purchase. And stuff like that. So, like I said, it's just a cool community. It's very chill. Our Facebook group is very chill. You're welcome to come on to here. The link is down below. You just have to look in the description, whether you're on an audio or a video podcast. And, feel free to invite people over here. Please do answer the questions. It is a private group. I try and keep people that are going to bash people or people that, are non-believers or whatever. Well, you know what? I take that back. I don't care if you're a non-believer. I'd love to have you in the group because you guys keep us honest. So essentially, yeah, I mean, you can come in here and just share your information with us, talk with us, chat with us. You can always message us as well, but feel free to join our Facebook group. We'd love to have you. And, everybody has a different take on everything. So getting your opinions or your ideas is great. There is no real experts out there. There's people that have been researching for longer than others, and maybe they had more experience, but there's no Bigfoot professionals out there, if you will. There's nobody that can say, well, yeah, I found Bigfoot. Here it is. Show me the Bigfoot, But yeah, so essentially, you're welcome. Come on here and kick it with us and communicate with us. And I'm just rambling on. Let me stop. Whoop. All right. So yeah, feel free to join our group. We'd love to have you. We will be doing the Tesla coil and the Eco box. They're actually both back here on that table where all the haunted objects are. We'll be doing a video on that shortly. Hopefully either this coming weekend or maybe during the week. I'm not sure. And we'll see what comes out of the box and see if there's anything to it. So anyways, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate all the new liking and subscribing to our channel. Welcome to everybody who's new to our channel. Hopefully you're enjoying our videos and our podcasts. Again, we're not just video bloggers or audio bloggers or podcasters. We actually are a paranormal team that investigates the paranormal, everything from ghosts to UFO to Bigfoot to cryptids to lake monsters, river monsters. If it's paranormal in nature, we investigate it. All right, guys, you have a good one, and we will catch you on the next one.